It's solid. Does not move on either side. I've been waiting 2 weeks for the wind and the rain to cut out. We got rid of the rain, but we didn't get rid of the 20-mile-per-hour wind. We've got a brand spanking new tow hitch over here that we're going to be putting on. Here's the model number. I'll post links in the description below. We've also got our brand spanking new Jeep rear bumper. And yes, they know that I'm putting it onto this Van-Haulen build. Also, wanted to point out, you guys in the comment section, you do make a difference. This is the bolt kit that came with the last bumper that we got for the front of the van. Tons of you commented about how you would never buy a kit that didn't come with grade 8 bolts. Therefore, they upgraded to grade 8 bolts. So, your comments do matter. Please throw them down in below if you have anything you see about the items that I'm using. These are the bottom plates that usually would go inside of the Jeep frame rail. We're going to probably use these like we did on the front in order to either weld onto the frame to make mounts or something. We'll see how that goes. But the big thing is first getting this on so that we can see if we can line it up either with this hitch location that was already here or something along those lines. We'll see. The other thing we're going to be doing today is we're going to beat up on VEVOR's brand spanking new impact that they just brought to market. But I do like the fact that left or right-handed, I can be able to change this out. The other thing is it's quite small. So getting into these is not exactly an open area, and it does fit. So we'll be knocking those out. We've got their pipe stand that we figured out we could put a plate on the top of in order to be able to lift flat objects. And we're going to be testing this high-speed air compressor that they just recently brought onto the market. Now, this thing is around $200, and I don't know whether it's going to run the impact gun, so we're going to try it. I like it. It is absolutely insanely quiet. Let's see if we can deliberately trigger it here. So, you know, the next time that your girlfriend or something says that chickens are so cute when they take a dust bath, therefore you go out and you set up their own nice undercover dust bath, right? So that way, when they get out, while you're having lunch, they rip up every bit of gravel in front of and around your work area. Chickens are fun. Keep the girlfriend happy. You know what it's like. There we go. The VEVOR setup did pretty good. This thing is definitely not made to run that thing at full bore, but it will do it at about 1 or 2 lugs and then give it a few minutes. Now, the only one that it couldn't get off was that one. And a breaker bar and a couple of pirate words later, and it wasn't going to come off no matter what I did to it anyway. But we got the other off perfectly fine. Now we will jack up the cross member for the hitch and see if it lines up. When I first posted up a picture of this bumper, you guys requested a comparison in order to see how well it would potentially fit on a Ford Ranger. So I'll one-up it. There's the Ford Ranger stock bumper, flatbed, Jeep rear bumper, and E250 bumper. So obviously the E250 bumper is wider than both of them, And the Jeep is actually a little bit thinner to the point it actually fits in the flatbed by just barely, probably a 1/4 inch on either side. Now, on this bunch of debauchery here, as with most universal kits, nothing lined up where the directions said that it would. So we just kind of figured it out from there. There's a weird little kick in the frame. So the frame goes flat and then kicks down here. So the kit comes with this spacer that's supposed to go here, then another catch spacer that's supposed to go up there. And it seems to think just a washer is going to work here. And the reason why the washer works is because this little lip here ends up bringing it down to level with the back area. Now we've got that lined up. We're using our pipe holder here, which this thing is great. I'm not quite sure I'm sold on the $80 price mark, but if you're working on exhaust, you're working on something you need a third hand from below, things like that, it works really well. The other thing that I've figured out with this is that if you have to, you can cram another pipe onto this and then take this and stand it up on the other pipe, and it extends the thing however far you need to. I've sketchily done that in order to support 2 drive shafts while working on them. That's not in video, but if you're mechanically inclined, you should figure out how to do it. So we're going to rat-a-tat that and bolt it in. Oh, the directions obviously were written by somebody not in the Rust Belt. The directions wanted me to remove that, and drop the canister out. What I figured out was that, let me get you guys in underneath here. What I figured out was on this one, if I flipped it the other direction, I could get the nut and the giant washer up in under the canister filter. Now, there seems to be a lot of back and forth controversy on whether nut down is stronger or whether nut up is stronger. Tell me which one you think. I honestly think that it doesn't matter on this because the shear force is going to be mostly this direction. But tell me in the comments. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the idea that a Jeep has a wider frame than an E250, but it does. So right now, this is marked out at 46.5 inches, which is where those brackets want to line up based on the brackets behind the bumper. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm right royally debating just slicing this off and permanent welding that bumper right on there. Like, I don't see any reason this ever needs to come off unless it's damaged. And if it's at the point of that damaged, I will probably just have a plasma cutter day with it. You know, from time to time you need that reality check. You're not as smart as you think you are, and you didn't quite plan ahead just right. As it is, the top of that board is just about where the deck for the flatbed is going to be. So we've got to have roughly 6 inches of articulation on either side, and that's really pushing it on as low as we possibly can go. Honestly, we should have about 8 inches of articulation on each side. So, with that being said, a Jeep has this up in the tire up here. And this van, normally it would be there. But legally, here in the state of Maine, I've got to put that plate somewhere. So we've got a temporary plate here. And I've got a couple of blocks. Because here's what I'm debating. I don't like this. I think that looks stupid and unfinished. So what I'm debating now is we take this and We put it like that. And now we take the whole bumper assembly and we lift it up on those two blocks there, and we see how that looks. Well now, if we look from here to there, I would say that's pretty levelly lined up. I think I like that idea a lot more than I did the other setup. So as we come around, we've got the upper area. We've got about a 6-inch to the lowest point on the deck. That leaves more than enough for us to be able to put tail lights on either side. We've got clearance for where the license plate needs to go, and plenty of clearance in order to be able to throw a hitch in there with a ball and everything, or a drop down. That is about to get welded into place because I'm going to call that perfect. That board just doesn't want to stay in this wind. So a lot of people have asked exactly how wide I intend to make the flatbed. This board here is a little bit under 7 foot, and that's my goal. My goal is for it to be about 7 foot wide and about 9 feet long. At that point, there's multiple ways I could configure in order to be able to put like 3 racing mowers on easily. I could put on a GT in the front with a couple of 42-inch decks in the rear, a couple of different configurations here. Along with the idea I could potentially fit a small car, plus or minus a little bit of legality. So this is about the height that the bottom of the deck is going to be. The deck is actually probably going to sit about yay tall to have plenty of clearance for travel over the tires. This bumper, in all honesty, I mean, let's be serious. This bumper is cosmetic more than anything, but it's solid, does not move on either side. We'll end up wiring up the lights. Have not decided whether the lights are going to get wired in with reverse or whether they're going to be on independent toggles. This thing's going to have way more lights than any other vehicle that I've ever built, and so I haven't really quite decided how over the top I want to get about lighting it up while it's driving. As it is, this thing's going to be a head turner, and I don't really want to go and catch legality eyeballs looking at it too hard in the state of Maine, because we're already skirting a lot of things. Speaking of skirting things, we're going to be welding up the back doors in the next video. I have about 5 different ideas on how I want to do that right now. I think I've settled on 2, but if you have any input on how you would do it, what you would use to do it, how you would get it to stay, whether I should or should not pull the windows before I do it, since I've already screwed up the windows, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. That'll probably be next week's project. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Hope you enjoyed it.